Yo, what is up, YouTube? We are here. We are going to talk about a little bit of some kind of current events going on at the moment because a lot of it is starting to affect me and my business. So let's jump into it. We're going to talk about what's going on with scrap sterling silver and refineries cease buying a moratorium across basically the entire United States of silver buying, what I'm doing to hedge against that, and how I am going to perceive the price of silver and what's going to happen with all of that. Also, going to talk about what is going on with Cool Kicks being raided and what that is doing to the resale market and potentially what is going on there. And then we are going to talk about just some Q4 insights on what I'm seeing early Q4 as far as Amazon and retail sales. So, first thing I'm going to get into, we're just going to start talking about the silver market. So, what's going on with silver? So, on Thursday night at approximately, I don't know, 11 p.m., late night, we received an email from one of the largest refineries in the United States, Elemental, and other refineries as well, including Asahi and Northern Refineries, all these other big refiners issued statements that they were no longer accepting scrap sterling silver for refining and payment to the general public. And so, what happened with all of that? So, this is a big deal as far as silver. Huge, huge. So, I personally had silver shipment that was processing at Elemental while this all went down on Thursday night. And I actually got issued payment on Friday for the silver that I had sent in. And so, what happened with that? So, I had sent in about, I forget what it was, maybe 250 ounces of scrap silver. So, this is around 10,000 grams, 10 kilograms of sterling silver I had in process with the refinery when they cut off buying silver. So, what did they say? Well, we're going to honor um, we're going to buy it, right? So they told me in the email that they're going to buy the silver. But what happened? Well, they executed the price like $1.60 back of spot, which is completely unusual and basically shorted me money that the open market should have, technically provided. But there was this thing they call it backwardation, where basically the dealers and refiners are paying less than spot. They're stop using spot price to dictate the price that they execute their sterling at. And so they started executing the sterling at the futures contract price, which is just basically tied to the future closing of a contract. Doesn't really have to do with any of the spot price trading on the market. But since there is a shortage of available physical silver on the market um, for doing these spot price negotiations, so let me explain to you guys what happens when you refine silver at a refinery. So typically what they're going to do is, as soon as you tell them, "Hey, we're sending 10,000 grams of sterling to you guys," they will typically either lock a contract or lock physical silver, pure silver, to start being able to trade your money as soon as you initiate that deal. So they're going to give you the option to lock the price, or they're going to give you the option to take price at settlement. In this case, I was choosing to take price at settlement because, or at, well, they don't call it settlement, they call it at upon receipt. So they received the silver on like Wednesday, right? Wednesday they received the silver, so now they can contractually execute your price on receipt of the silver, and they don't actually refine it and or sell it to their buyer. until the next day or whatever, but they can start moving your money as soon as they receive the physical on hand, right? Same way as if I were to receive any stock of any kind, once I have it in hand, right, it's mine to do what I want with. So they took in my silver and basically stopped the price there, didn't pay out until Friday, issued the statement, and then paid me back $1.60 of spot. Okay, whatever. What does that mean? I don't know. I lost about $300, $400, but they didn't have a choice, right? Their hands were tied. This is the money that they could get out. I'm sure they're issuing like millions of dollars worth of payments to people who had incoming scrap to them. But what happens? So early that morning, Friday, first thing I do, just for this may not be for everybody. No financial advice here. No, nothing like that. Form your own opinions. The first thing I do at open on Friday is buy long puts on SLV. It's the first thing I do because I have to hedge my incoming silver against price collapse. So there is volatility in the market. Markets are spooked. The refiners are immediately paying less for silver. Silver's at 50, they're paying 47, right? So they're paying way under what the market is saying silver's at. Silver's at 51, 50, whatever it is. They're paying 47, and this is the last time they're paying 47. They're saying we're no longer taking more at 47. We don't even want it because they are allegedly backed up. So for that, this will get a little bit tinfoily here, a little bit, okay? There is no shot that it is because refineries are backed up why the silver is being halted. These refineries, they can melt the silver, and they can refine it. They have the chemical. It's not a backlog of an influx of too much silver. This is a government-controlled price manipulation is what's happening. 100%. This is government controlled because I called every single refiner in the country Friday morning to see if they would take in silver. I called LA, I called Asahi, I called New York, I called on Main Street, the Diamond District of New York, to see if they were buying silver. Nobody on the street was buying silver. They said it was a moratorium across the entire United States that you cannot sell sterling silver right now. Okay. That is a government issued moratorium. That is the market is all of a sudden being like, oh, we're backed up, right? All of a sudden overnight, 50 refineries are now backlogged, right? That's not how that works. There's no shot. So what's going on is, from my understanding, is basically there is physical silver 1,000 ounce bars, right? Whatever that is, 100 kilo bars, right? Big silver bars that are like 100 something pounds. Is that there is an influx of buying on the ETF market. So what happens with a silver ETF, right? You can go look up the prospectus or the mandates of a silver ETF like SLV, which is one of the bigger ones out there, is they are required to hold physical silver, a percentage, just the same way a bank has to have cash reserves, right? A bank has to hold whatever 10% of their outstanding money in reserve in case there is a run on the banks and you need to issue cash, right? Well, there is something with silver and silver contracts that they have to back what is in their ETFs, what is in their contracts with physical silver, right? A percentage of it. It's not 100%, but they need to back a certain amount, like 50% of their outstanding contracts with physical. And what happened was, because of the price increase of silver of 30 to 40% over the last couple of months, they did not have enough physical silver to meet up with those requirements for their funds. So what happens when you can't meet the requirements for your funds? Well, you need to borrow it, right? So you need to borrow silver from places like the US Mint, like the London COMEX exchange, whatever it is. So you have to borrow. So what happened to lending rates of silver? Lending rates went up 200% overnight on silver because these ETFs cannot fulfill their requirements of physical silver, which, say what you will, but I mean, to me, that is basically just illegal. Like that they don't have a system in place to receive physical delivery, which tells you that those paper contracts, you really should not put very much of your money or faith into paper silver contracts, right? I think any silver person, any Bitcoin person, anyone like that would tell you that, don't keep your faith in promises. You need to have physical possession of your investments in these type of things, because all of a sudden the paper, they can just poof. Okay, so don't be trusting that too much. So what are we doing? What are we going to do here now that silver is done? First things first, we need to figure out how long is like how long are refiners going to halt buying silver? And I asked, and they can't tell you because, like I said, this is a international government controlled situation of to where they cannot tell you when they are going to be able to meet the demand. The current estimates, by if you go check ChatGPT, or I don't know, you talk to these big silver brokers or whatever, they are saying it could be up to 3 months before before scrap sterling silver is going to be able to be sold to refineries again. Well, I don't believe that for a second either. Really, I don't think 3 months is how long it's going to take to reopen. I think they could reopen at pretty much any point they want to. But what are they going to do? Let's just, okay, again, little bit tinfoil hat here. What are they going to do? They're going to wait until silver prices collapse, and then they will reopen buying. That's just what's going to happen, right? So there's this theory. So if you guys go watch a bunch of other silver channels right now, they are, of course, just glazing up silver, which is just what they do. They are going to say that silver's in a short squeeze. They're going to say silver's going to go crazy, blah blah blah. When markets open, it's gonna go to $100 an ounce, whatever. The silver people are always going to say that, and trust me, guys, I love silver. Like, I'm a silver trader, right? Like, I get it, but silver prices are at historical all-time, close to all-time highs, not on an inflation-adjusted basis. Is there room for silver to run? Yes. But what are we seeing on the street? What are we seeing in the silver markets? What are we seeing on eBay? What are we seeing on local coin shops? Like, what is going on is there are sellers like 100 to 1 right now. Everyone is selling silver. Everyone. So don't think that silver prices are gonna skyrocket. Impossible, because it just can't happen, because there is so much selling going on the market. I personally bought like over $40,000 in like 2 weeks of silver. Okay, the silver, everyone was dumping. So they were dumping flatware sets and just all the scrap. Right, I've got tons of it over here. So what do we do? So they're saying 3 months. I think that's BS. I don't think that they can halt buying like on a national basis for longer than a month. Really, I think a month would be maximum that they can halt scrap sterling. I mean, you have to be able to sell. Like, there are like, I don't know, 1,000 or more businesses that are going to have significant difficulties if you cannot sell your scrap silver, right? Like, that's a big part of my business as well. Um, so I don't think that the government can really hold for that long. So what am I doing? Of course, I told you I bought long silver puts just as a hedge. I'm not buying like a full position on long silver puts. I am just hedging my incoming silver that I've already purchased before the moratorium hit. I have started to put in a long dated, as best I can position to buy me out for the next month or so. Should the price of silver fall, by, let's say, $5 or $10 or something like that, which would be a significant decrease, those contracts would pay out the difference I would lose on the physical silver that I have inbound that I can no longer sell. Okay. So I'm just looking at the market. My personal opinion is if they're saying you cannot sell, you physically cannot sell, that means that whenever they do decide to reopen, right? Let's say it's next week, next month, 3 months, whatever it is, whenever they do decide, every silver dealer on the planet will be dumping tons of silver onto the market, tons. So that's why I say there's pretty much no shot that silver continues to go crazy because they just won't allow it. They just won't allow it. There's too much that it's going to flood the market. There already is too much flooding the market. And that's why they've halted buying, is because there is so much selling going on that, and the price continues to go up, right? So, there's some kind of a disconnect happening where price is going skyrocketing, but selling volume is astronomical. It makes sense, right? Price is high, people sell. And that just tells me that if we've got a bunch of people selling, we've got dealers who can't buy. If they are buying, they're paying significantly less, right? This tells you something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. And if people are paying less than what spot is worth, then that tells you it's worth less. It's just worth less. Currently, all of my silver is paperweights. All of the silver I have, I cannot sell to anyone unless I want to take significant losses. Like if I were to try and liquidate today, I could probably get 70%. I mean, I'm looking at getting, 70 cents on the dollar right now for silver if I were to try and liquidate. And normally I'd be getting, in the 90 cents to 95 cents on the dollar for silver when you're melting scrap like that. And for them to be still buying pure silver and just only not buying scrap is like really ridiculous too, because that's also specifically targeting like small businesses and normal people, which is, of course, that what's the government going to do? Target the small businesses and regular people. I mean, why not? So that seems to be what's happening with the silver market right now, is that they have halted buying. You need to take protection. You need to, you can bet whichever way you want. If you think silver's going to moon, that's great. I don't think it's going to happen. Let's see. When selling scrap, how much would you get for about 190 grams? Are you talking about now or are you talking about before? Because right now I can't sell any scrap. Literally zero. They won't take it. like there is a that's what I'm talking about right now. There is a complete moratorium on all silver in the United States right now. There are maybe some refineries. I know Kitco is buying. So if you want to know, I believe so. Right now, Kitco is paying about like $1.10 to the public. I think wholesale they're paying $1.25 per gram. Spot price is currently at like around $1.50 per gram, so they're paying about 20% to 25% under. So you would get about so on 190 grams, right? Kitco would be buying at about $209, which historically is it's not a bad price. And if you got to take it, you got to take what you can get. But the liquidity will soon run out. So what's my play, right? So my play is going to be to hold and buy cheap, right? So I'm looking for dirt price cheap silver. I'll be buying. I'm still buying. I have some liquidity, not a lot, but I have enough to where I've got my positions in place and I have my options to liquidate. For instance, I'll be liquidating all of my gold. So anything I have that is gold and shiny will be liquidated immediately. Come Monday morning, all of my gold will be gone. I will be selling all of it because that's all they're taking in. They're only taking in gold scrap right now. And so I will be liquidating all gold to raise capital, basically to pay off my silver debts, because I have around $20,000 inbound of silver. So I have to be able to pay that off still. And that's why I'm hoping they open in less than 3 months. Like I need a certain amount of time. But what's going on is I'll be liquidating all gold, and then I'm going to hold and wait for the market to feel the pressure. Because right now, everyone on silver is trying to sell, like, because I buy on eBay, right? A lot of the times they are trying to get the high prices. So one of your only options to sell silver right now is on eBay. So if I were to try and sell, you know, try and get 90%, 95% on my silver right now, your only option is really eBay. So there's a lot of what I'm seeing today, I'm watching it live, is that silver, people are trying to liquidate their silver on eBay at the high right now. They're trying to go off of basically inexperienced buyers or inexperienced people who don't know that there is a silver moratorium right now, or just to whatever public people that want to buy and hoard silver, because there is the other side of the coin right now, that there are some people that think silver is going to skyrocket. And so one of your best options to sell silver right now is going to be on eBay and trying to get the high price, and factor in the fees, right? So fees are 20% typically on eBay, with including shipping and their final value fees. You're looking at 20%. So you want to sell your silver if you can at 110%. If you could sell at 110% on spot and take the 20% fee, you're getting paid out 90, you'll be great at that price, right? So that's an option. Is what I'm seeing a lot of people doing right now, is they're trying to get the high. But what I know is it's not going to happen, really. Like, you may get some sales through, but most people are not going to be paying at these prices. And so what does that mean? That means everybody's silver is going to start to accumulate. It's all going to start to sit. That means anybody who's buying anywhere, like even if you're at garage sales, estate sales, wherever, if you're buying silver right now, you're going to have a tough time selling it. And so it's going to build. So this pressure in the market is going to keep building as people keep stacking silver. It's going to build for me as I keep buying silver. I'm going to keep buying at around, I'm going to be paying 75% or under for silver. And I'm going to keep building that until my capital starts getting really, really, really limited, right? This pressure is going to build the longer this moratorium stays in place. So as this moratorium stays in place, I think there will be pricing pressure on silver. So I am placing bets and my money against silver that the price of silver will go down based on the amount of selling pressure that is going to come onto the market. Not only that, because I believe that this has government interference going on, I think that the government will start issuing news saying that silver prices will collapse, right? There's going to be fear news out into the market right now because of the volatility. There will be fear articles, fear news, whatever, that says, is now the time silver breaks down? Are we going to see, red markets, blah, blah, blah. Like, is this the market collapse? Is this the rebalancing, the end of the year? Whatever, right? They're going to put out bad news because the government needs the price of silver to go down. These ETF markets, these big hedge funds, they need silver price to go down. They need Bitcoin price to go down. They need equity prices to go down, right? Everybody needs home prices to go down, right? The market wants to go down because we need a reset. Because if it doesn't reset, then it gets to the point where there will be no retail sales. There will be no, things start to break down. And we're seeing a lot of market indicators that basically prices want to go up, but the market wants things to go down to re-stimulate the economy. So it's kind of a weird thing. Is like people are almost, because supply, the problem is a supply side problem, right? There is very little supply of in-demand items. So what, we can't get items. I buy things from China too. I import from China. There's tariffs, right? There are shipping delays. There is everything going on. There's these huge constraints that want prices to skyrocket. But the economy can't handle skyrocketing prices, okay? Because people are already squeezed. It's already like, I don't know, $8 for a big bag of chips, or like $14 for like a 12 pack of soda or something right now. It's like crazy, right? those prices are going to get worse. like because I can see shipping delays from China, shipping delays from every carrier on the United States, right? FedEx, UPS, they are pushing 10 to 12-day delivery times now in October, which I have never seen before, where in October we start seeing 2-week delivery times. I think come December 4th, we'll start seeing like December, right, early December, first week of December, Amazon will start putting warnings on listings that it won't arrive before Christmas. I already know. We'll start seeing warning labels being issued by carriers. They're already issuing severe weather delays. They're already issuing all kinds of excuses on why packages are getting delayed. And there's going to be, I'm seeing out of stock from almost every retailer on the planet right now. I'm out of stock all the time. I can't get the inventory I need. I have over 100 packages inbound to me that are taking longer than normal, way longer. 2-day deliveries are now 12-day deliveries. Okay, we've got that out of the way. We talked about silver. Now I'm going to talk about what's going on with the Cool Kicks situation. So I'm going to talk about what happened. So Cool Kicks is a shoe sneaker reseller store that I believe had multiple locations, and their location in Los Angeles was raided by the police department, the Bunko Federal Department, whatever it is. They were raided. This was been in the news a few days ago, and they seized a whole bunch of sneakers. And there's this whole thing with, I don't want to get into the whole story if you guys don't know, but basically they are accused of receiving goods that were in some way tainted, right? There was a bunch of news that, oh my God, you're giving me anxiety. Do you have any good news? Good news? Yeah, we'll have good news. I'll do a good news segment after this. Okay, so Cool Case was raided. There, a bunch of their sneakers were seized. What happened with that? For one, a lot of people went out and said that these sneakers were fakes, that they were receiving fake goods. And I can basically dispel that right now, that there is zero chance that Cool Kicks, a company that buys $10 million worth of sneakers, was receiving fake goods. 0% chance that that was what happened. Okay. Let me tell you why. I've been a dealer in everything since I was 15. Like, I have dealt in shoes, purses, antiques, paintings, rugs, I don't know, freaking goldfish. I've dealt in like everything. Not actually goldfish, but I'm just saying I've dealt in almost every resellable on the market. If you have bought and sold $10 million worth of sneakers, you know a fake from a mile away. You could see a fake Nike shoe from another state over. I mean, I'm telling you, there is no chance they were receiving fake goods. Zero. Okay. Now, what is the other question? Were they stolen goods? Okay, did they receive stolen goods? Well, definitely a possibility that these were stolen goods. Okay, definitely. They received, let's understand. So there were pictures that came out, alleged pictures. I don't know if this was true or not. That they had pallets of brand new or pre-release Nike shoes. Pallets. Okay, so let's explain to those who don't know. If you are receiving a pallet of Nike goods, one of the most protected brands on the planet, as far as supply chain, as far as fakes, as far as like their factories, as far as their intellectual property, their logo usage, right? Nike is one of the most protected brands on the planet. And if you are receiving as a retail store a pallet of those products, then you have some type of authorization to sell those products. In our industry, they call it an LOA, or a letter of authorization from the brand to sell those products, typically, right? Obviously, this is a resale store. They could be getting it on the secondary market, right? So what happened there? Well, if you're getting pallet sizes, you are either buying from you are either buying from an authorized seller, or you're buying from a third party seller, right? So if you are buying from a third party seller, which is probably likely, I don't know. I don't know if they were buying from an authorized or an unauthorized, but based on the FBI raid, I would say they were buying from a third party seller. Okay. So now you are buying a pallet of highly controlled product from a third party. Okay. So what do you need to do as a wholesale buyer of that product from said third party? Well, what you're supposed to do is see their documents as to where the hell did they get their product from, and where is the supply chain back to Nike. You're supposed to have supply chain documents that lead back to the manufacturer. Otherwise, you're selling unauthorized product. Okay. Oh, but you're allowed to resell whatever you want. Sure. But when you're buying $500,000 worth of wholesale product, you should have an idea of where your product came from. Like, you cannot, as a business owner, just be like, I don't know, looks good to me, we're gonna just take it. So I don't know the specific details of what happened with that, but I would say that they need to have vetted their supplier in some way. And I would believe from a store that big that they did, in fact, vet their supplier, right? I'm sure they've done multiple deals with them in the past. I'm 100% sure that the product was authentic, right? This was real product. And I'm sure that their supplier even could be potentially legitimate. We don't know how far back in the chain was this product tainted, like at what point was the product tainted. But what I know from my business is that, let's say this comes from a unscrupulous third party seller, right? Where does a third party seller get a pallet worth of product, right? There are only so many options and none of them are good. So one option, and a likely option, is this shoe company that sold the products to Cool Kicks was using some kind of sophisticated botting software to acquire the product, likely directly from Nike, and was manipulating things like checkout information, delivery addresses, and whatever to acquire bulk product, right? This is probably a middle ground for Cool Kicks, that if that is the case, is that if their supplier got this stuff directly from Nike using sophisticated software and manipulative means, then okay, they have profited from you know gray area acquired, dishonest acquisition of product, and therefore they will be basically only on the hook for the profit that they made from selling the product. Granted, this product was just delivered, is what the story is that 2 or 3 days after it got delivered is when they were raided. So they probably didn't have the opportunity yet to profit from the sale of those shoes, right? So I would guess that if that is the case, that it's just their supplier did a bunch of weird things and they bought it from them without vetting them. Maybe they get hit with a fine for the instances of transactions. So I don't know what these transactions were, but let's say they were buying 100 shoes at a time. They ran 24 transactions, 30 transactions. Okay, they're going to receive a fine of $100,000, probation, something like that. I could see something like that happening to the owner. Is a likely outcome if that happened. Okay, so now let's talk about another option. Is these Nike shoes were 100% stolen, illegitimately gained, like robbery, guns, armored trucks, whatever happened. These things were stolen off a train car, whatever, and they received stolen goods, which is basically what I believe the case is actually centered upon, is that they knowingly received stolen goods. Okay, so let's talk about the different things there. Once I get a drink here. So the key part, obviously, in this case is going to be knowingly received. Can the FBI prove that Cool Kicks knowingly received stolen goods. If they raided, they probably think they have a pretty good case, right? So I would assume that they have text messages, discords, emails, whatever, going back and forth between them and the supplier about things of like, where did these come from? Well, we don't know. Well, we just got them from here, whatever. I would assume that the supplier, lied about how they acquired the product. So I would say it's going to be hard for the FBI to prove that Cool Kicks had any knowing intention of buying stolen goods. Um, as a business owner and as a reseller and knowing how this industry works, I would find it very, very hard to believe that they knowingly receive stolen property. Very hard. Like, I just don't see use from someone you've bought from them before. 100% you've bought from them before. This is not your first transaction with them. So I don't think they would have any clue that they were receiving stolen property if it even is stolen property. Um, about a stolen tequila shipment, 2 trucks full disappeared, manipulation of trucking software. Yeah, so there are lots of different sophisticated means, and this was part of the next segment, but I'm just going to wrap up what I want to say about Cool Kicks. Was I think what the FBI is truly after is, of course, is information. I don't think they give a rat's about what cool. I don't think Cool Kicks did. I really don't think they're in the wrong at all. I think they may receive a fine and a probation and whatever, but I don't think that they knowingly did anything like grossly negligent or manipulative or malice, or I don't think there's anything like that involved. I will 100% say that I think Cool Kicks is going to be 100% in the clear. What the FBI is after is information, and because Cool Kicks is a big name, it's going to get the media attention. It's gonna get funding for their department, whatever it is, like whatever it is that the police's motives are for this is what they want is information on suppliers. They want information on how this whole industry works. How are they getting it? Where are they getting it from? They want to know about the Chinese and the factories. They want to know about the the shipments. Were tariffs paid on these goods? They want to know, where's their bill of lading? Where's all the documents? Like, where's this stuff coming from? What are the names of the companies that are being used for this whole ring of Nike shoe buying, right? And they actually just there was another news article about 1.4 million in shoes being located also in like East LA, which some people are saying, hey, that's Cool Kicks talking about what happened or whatever. Um, is he talking about what happened? Would he do that? I don't know. I don't think he has to talk. Like, I think if he just waits for a lawyer and let the lawyer handle it, that they will basically be able to prove no wrongdoing of Cool Kicks. So I really, I don't know. I mean, he can do whatever he wants, but the owner. So I would say that he probably I really don't think they have a case against him. I really don't. I think if he just holds out, they'll cut him a deal. And does he have to give them some sort of information? I don't know. Probably they may have already gotten it, right? Like he just says, yeah, I got it from these guys. Boom, right? Case over is basically he could just point the finger at his supplier, be like, we never did anything, we never touched anything, which is probably what's going to happen. And then the Fed will move on and they'll go up the chain and chase after the actual people who committed crimes because Cool Kicks runs a retail store. They are not fencing stolen goods and whatever. I just really don't believe that whole story. But I will be watching and following up. I want to see specifically what are the ramifications? Like what are the charges? What are the penalties for whatever went down? Are they going to be severe penalties? Like, would the owner potentially face jail time, which I really think it's impossible for him to be facing jail time. But I want to see what is the penalty. Is it 100,000? Is it $1 million? Is it like what's gonna be the time? Uh, is it the wrong time right now to buy silver? Nobody is buying silver right now. It is 100-to-1 seller's market on silver. 100-to-1. So I would not be buying silver at all right now, at all. They have actually restricted the selling of silver because there is so much selling going on. I wouldn't be buying silver at anywhere near spot prices. The market is currently paying about 70%. That's what the market is. Market's paying 70, 75. You might find someone paying 80 right now. And gold, how about gold? Same thing. Wouldn't touch it. Not as an investment right now. They're still taking on gold. Why are they still taking on gold? They're still taking on gold because it's easier to counteract the transactions with gold coins than it is silver bars. Silver bars need to be trucked in. Like they're so right now they are flying planes full of silver to the United States. From the London COMEX exchange, they are flying 100 kilo bars to the US, which would normally go by boat because they are so heavy. The fuel costs are insane. It wouldn't make sense to fly silver to the US, but they are doing it this weekend. Today, there are planes in the air carrying silver. I promise you right now, there are planes in the air carrying silver to the United States because there is so much selling pressure going on. The market is paying 45 an ounce, 44 an ounce. It is going down. So where should I invest? Just got out of college, 23, haven't diversified anything. If you are 23, you're just out of college, and where should you invest? You should invest in a business. 100%. There is nothing better than running a business. All of my money is parked in my business because it makes the highest return. So on average, my internal rate of return on my money in my business is around 18%, like 17 to 18%, annually is around what my money turns. Sometimes more, sometimes less. There's a lot of factors, but a business will return more than any other investment you can make right now, especially at your age. What I would do is start a business because starting a business is ridiculously easy right now. You just need the strong mental strength, right? So at 23, most biggest things I would advise is work on your mental and start a business. That's it. Like that's so what field? Just not sure what field I can get into. Whatever field you like. But all I know is these days you can chat GPT anything, and so okay, for instance, I'll tell you just a quick story. I'm getting into private label, which means I'm going to take a product from China, put my name on it, and sell it online. Okay. The process of starting that business, of of getting a product manufactured with my brand new made up brand name and shipped to me and registered to sell like in the US with a trademark took 1 hour and 30 minutes and about 600 bucks. About $600 and an hour and 30 minutes, and you can launch your own brand. I mean, so, and I did all of that through ChatGPT. I did it live on stream too, and then I cut off the stream to take care of all of the identity checks and whatever you got to do with the trademark office. But you can launch and have an operational business in like a couple hours. You can file an LLC in 30 minutes. You can get a resale certificate in under a week. I mean, it's very, very, very easy. Where would you recommend to go doing what? Starting a private label? That's just Alibaba.com and the US what is it? USPTO, the US Patent and Trademark Office. Go to the US Patent and Trademark Office. You file an application. So the first things you have to do is you have to set up a business like an LLC, right? So yeah, it depends on your state how an LLC is handled. Some of them require a resale certificate, which, like I said, 30 minutes. I think it's under resale certificates under $100. You get a resale certificate, comes in the mail, or they send you an email in like under 10 days. You can register a DBA. If your state requires it, you register a DBA. Just means you're doing business under a different name. And all of this, like when you're young, will sound complicated. I promise you it takes 30 minutes. Literally just go on the government website, there's like buttons, hit apply, create an account, register with your state's tax office, right? So you have to register with your tax board. You register the certificate, you register the LLC, then you file with the patent office. Once you receive your EIN number, you apply for an EIN. So you just go through the government processes, which, and you can just chat GPT this, what do I do in my state to start a business? What do I need? You fill out all the documents, which I'm telling you, this whole process you can do in under an hour and probably cost you $100 or $200 total, depending on what state you live in. They have different charges for this, but it is very, 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 very easy to file and register a business and then go on Alibaba. You can, I just did it. I chat GPT'd the name, I chat GPT'd the logo. You just, you send it to your supplier in China. They give you a quote. Some of them will do samples for 50 units, 100 units. So whatever you're buying, $2 to $3 times 100, 200 or $300 for the product, maybe anywhere from like $60 to $100 in shipping from China. You'll have to pay whatever tariffs, another, I don't know what it is right now, 30% or something in tariffs. So it ends up being like 500 or 600 bucks. You get it registered with what I'm doing is I'm registering the brand on Amazon. You'll go through and register through their process of their brand registry. All you have to do is submit the invoice from Alibaba. Then you can I chat GPT'd an LOA letter from the manufacturer in China. They sign the LOA. You submit that to Amazon and you get registered for brand registry, create the listing page. Once you receive the product, you list the product for sale. That's the whole private label like thing. And I promise you it takes like 2 hours. Just one form of a business. You could do the affiliate marketing. You could do, I mean, I as a part of my business, I went on to like Fiverr and I paid for a logo to be made. All these people did was ChatGPT a logo, and they charge you 40 bucks. So you can go on Fiverr right now and just offer logo services. Say, I'll create your logo for $40. I'll have it ready in an hour. You literally just go to ChatGPT. It generates like 20 different logos. You pick one, you send it to your customer. Oh, wait, I don't like it. Can you change this, change that? You copy and paste that. You put it back in ChatGPT. It makes all the changes, and then you send it back to them. That's what these people do. I mean, that's what they do on Fiverr. You can do copyright for people. You can do video translations for people. You can do like there's just a million different businesses, and all of it you can just do ChatGPT and figure out. It'll tell you exactly step by step how to do it. You can use Lovable to create entire websites in like 30 seconds. Like it's mental what you can do these days. Or if you want to go a different route, you just pick up the phone and start calling people. Start calling people and asking questions. Like how I got involved in the jewelry business was I just started going into jewelry stores. Go into your local businesses and ask the local business owners how they did it. Hey, what did you do to open this grocery store? Hey, what did you do to open up this, corner store? I want to do that. How would I go about doing that? Like it's it's really a great day and age to start a business. Can you share what product you'll be selling? No, I'm not going to share exactly what product I'm selling. Um, I don't want to. It's already a saturated product. It's not like it's not even a really well thought out product. Um, I am just picking. I basically just picked a random product. It's not. Yeah, I can't really say the product because then people will find my storefront and then they'll see all the stuff I sell and blah 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 blah. Even though like hundreds of people already have my storefront, but yeah, it's a thing with Amazon. It's a little bit protected, and just with your business in general. Also, because the product isn't even live yet, so I don't want to release what it is yet. But basically, I just picked a random product to see if I could do it. The point is to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. That's what we do in business as entrepreneurs when we start businesses. What you want to do is you want to start like 10 businesses and see which one works. Just start them all. Try, figure out, watch some videos, do some ChatGPT, register some stuff, see what happens. So that's what I'm doing with private label right now is I just picked a random product, first one I saw, ChatGPT to name. I'm just throwing it together to see if I can make progress. Right. All we want to do is take the first step forward and just keep stepping forward and just see what happens. At the end of the day, it might be a complete loss. I'm at a position where I have a couple of successful businesses already. And so I know the power of trying new things. Okay. So let's try a business, put $1,000 into it, put 6 months into it, and it fails. Awful. You just do it again. Okay, we're gonna try this out, see if what works. Couple months, it didn't work. Okay, try the next one. Bang, you finally find one that works, and now you've got a business that you can run for the next 30 years or 40 years, and then start another business. Like you can run them side by side, but once you get the model of how to do it, it kind of just goes, like, it just keeps going. Like once you figure out one that works and you figure out how to do it, you just scale it, right? You just repeat, scale. Like I love just starting businesses, getting them going, seeing if it works, and then kind of autopilot that business and start another one. Like that's kind of what I do. That's what I would recommend is like just start things. Start anything. Like it doesn't matter. I've done cell phone flipping. I've done every single electronic. I've done video game resale. I've done garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, thrift stores. I've done online buying, whatnot, buying and selling. I've done like real estate types stuff. I've done stock trading. I've done crypto trading. I've done whatever it is. Just try all of it. Try it all. You'll learn something from each one. The goal of the game is information. 100%. I will give you, I will write you, I'll bundle up all my money and I'll give it to you for enough information to make me more in the future. Right? That's the goal is information. The difference between you and a billionaire is the information. You have the same amount of time, you have the same amount of opportunity out there. It's just the information. It's what they know. And what I would want to know is just what they know. Because if you know how to do something, like how to make money a certain way, all of the tips and tricks and secrets is what makes it like worthwhile. It's always the information. Someone could tell you, like I could tell you, like, hey, guess what, at Costco, if you go to aisle 23 and you go to bay 6 and you look behind the pallet of ketchup or whatever, there is a secret pile of gold there, and they sell it for a penny. And so all I have is just the information that stuff is there, and now that's what makes me rich, right? Or that's what makes me successful at a business or whatever, is just that little bit of information. Even though you've been to Costco 1,000 times, you've seen everything on the shelf, you know Costco inside and out, but you didn't know there was a pile of gold behind the ketchup or whatever. Just this is kind of a weird example, but it's like, okay, well, you just didn't know that there is a website that sells this product for 10 cents that you're buying for $100. You just didn't know that all you had to do was, instead of buy it on Amazon, all you got to do is go buy it at Walmart, and it's 50% cheaper, right? It's just that information makes up a huge difference in value. And so I chase information as a business entrepreneur. Information is everything, right? If I told you, hey, Apple tomorrow is going to release a flying car, that information, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of Apple stock, whatever, before they release this news that they just released a flying car, or whatever it is, right? So always chase information. Don't chase money. That's my number one advice to anyone in business, period, is chase information and not money. The money is the paper is nothing. The paper is worthless. It's worthless. The information is the value. 100%. Information and assets will make you money. That's it. The paper doesn't do anything. You want information and assets. That's it. Yeah, so that's I just want to talk about that stuff. I think did I have anything else for you guys? I think that covers it. We covered that. We covered that. Q4 volatility. So I will talk a little bit. That's the last topic I have, is for Amazon Q4 sales. What is going on with the holiday market, what is going to go on with toys and chocolates and clothing and gift sets. We are stocking currently. We are stocking up on toys specifically, of course. Always, for Christmas, you're stocking up on toys. We are stocking up on chocolate. Chocolate's going to be a big one. All these chocolate listings are about to go berserk right after the Halloween liquidation. It's going to be all holiday, right? Peppermint chocolate, cocoa powders, and all that stuff is about to go crazy. What else are we looking for? We are buying bulk liquidations. We are going to be looking for closeouts, liquidations, clearances that are going to be coming. Black Friday sales are looking very disappointing already. So we are seeing pre-Black Friday sales and whatever other sales being offered by retailers. And we are seeing that as soon as a retailer goes heavily discounted on a product, they are immediately out of stocking or very quickly out of stocking. And so I would predict that most of the Black Friday sales are either going to be terrible or they were out of stock almost immediately. And so we are seeing that even regular retailers that are running pre Black Friday sales are going out of stock in usually under 24 hours. So be on the lookout. We are buying when we see these deals as much as the retailers will let us buy. I would say that we are seeing post order cancellations at the highest rate I have ever seen them. So we are seeing a lot of retailers that are selling super discounted products with 2 to 3 week delivery times and then canceling orders mid process. So be very, very, very careful if you are buying for Amazon inventory to not spend too much money on very long dated delivery times, because we are seeing basically, hey, this item is 90% off. You want to buy them? Yes, yes, retailer. I'll take as many as you'll sell me. Great. We'll sell you 30 or whatever limit they want to place on it. We'll sell you 30, right? But you're gonna take delivery end of October is what we're seeing right now, right? So you'll take delivery 30 days later. Okay, sure, or 20 days later. Sure, retailer, you know what? This is such a good deal, 90% off, 20 days. Sure, whatever, right? I can still sell this before Christmas. I'll take it. And then what we're seeing is, about 2 weeks later, a week and a half later, oh, sorry, Mr. Buyer. We can only send you 15, due to limited quantities. We've only got 15 to send you. So we're seeing a lot of that right now, where there definitely a lot of retailers are promising things and then not delivering. So we're seeing a lot of retailers make very extravagant offers that they are not fulfilling. So be very, very careful about buying these flash deals and whatever is going on, because a lot of these retailers are canceling after. So they'll take your money, right? They'll take your money, they'll hold it for a week or two, and then they'll give it back to you. Like that's what we're seeing a lot of right now, is retailers are pulling some very, very funny stunts, where they are saying that they have inventory that they don't have. They are trying to give you. Some of them are giving 3 week delivery times on the hopes that they receive the inventory in time to sell it to you. So they're trying to pre-sell inventory that they don't have. So be very careful about that. We're seeing on Amazon a lot of people are doing that, where they are tanking the price. So they'll bring a price of a product from $30 to $20, but they'll add on 2 or 3 weeks of delivery time. You do not need to compete with those people that are tanking. If you go at a much higher price, but you have 4 or 5 day delivery, you will still get buy box even at a way higher price. So we are definitely doing that. Of course, as always, holiday price gouging. That's the business. Is we are gouging. We're not we are raising prices on everything. Right? Do not sell anything out too cheap. If the market gets flooded on anything, just hold. I promise, December 1st, it's going to be a penny. It's going to be a pinch. We are trying to do $50 next day delivery, but Amazon is currently suppressing the shipping option for next day delivery at over, like, I'm trying to figure out exactly what the limit is for next day delivery charges on Amazon. I think around $40, $40 to $45 is the absolute max Amazon will allow you to charge for next day delivery, even though the shipping carriers are charging $50 for next day delivery. Amazon won't let me charge $50 for next day delivery to the customer, which is just ridiculous. So be careful. There's going to be a big issue with delivery times with Amazon. You're going to get a lot of on-time delivery negatives. You're going to get your on-time delivery is going to drop severely. There's going to be points on Fridays, specifically on Fridays. So we have to be very careful about orders on Fridays because meeting delivery promises is going to be almost impossible going forward on Friday. So you may have to set a template where on Friday you change your delivery times because that weekend, especially like right now, right? We have a holiday, Columbus Day on Monday. So when we're trying to ship Friday, that's all like if you the post office will only be open from Tuesday to Friday. Well, if I ship that package out on Tuesday, it may not arrive till the next Monday. So we're talking, what is that? About almost 13 days for a standard ground delivery. Even if you go priority, you still may be looking at 12 to 13-day delivery times on priority. So you have to be very careful about delivery promises around the holidays. And so for those of you who are Amazon sellers, you may want to change your delivery times and for sure delivery charges, right? 2-day delivery will be doing $30. Next day delivery will be 45, whatever is the max they'll do without suppressing. And you may even want to remove free shipping options come like late November. We may actually completely remove the option for anything but priority because the shipping times will just be and shipping fees will be crazy. So even right now in October, a package that was normally costing me $9 is now costing me 13 to ship. Already today, the same package going to the same location is going from $9 to or from 12 to. We're seeing these weekend deliveries go longer. Keep your video up so I can finish, please. Yeah, no worries. I'll probably be hopping off here. I only try and do a little short segment here. I just was fired up, and I wanted to talk about what was going on in the markets, what's going on with silver, what's going on with the Cool Kick situation, and what is going on with Amazon and the Q4 rush that is coming. But the rush, the panic is going to set in around shipping delivery times. So be very careful about shipping delivery times. That is going to be the most critical portion of the Q4 holiday rush is basically you're going to have singular days where you will probably sell out your entire inventory on Amazon and you're going to have to be prepared, especially if you're an FBM shipper, which most people are during Q4, that you're going to have to be able to be prepared, which means you need to buy all of your boxes, all of your bubble wrap, all of your mailers, everything, all of your labels now. If you want to be in stock Q4, you better have hundreds of boxes and I have 700 feet of bubble wrap ready. You guys need 50 rolls of tape, whatever it is. Make sure your shipping supplies are on point for the Q4 rush because shipping times, I'm telling you, are going to cause a panic. As soon as people start seeing 2 to 3 week delivery times around the start of December, right? 2 to 3 week delivery times is Christmas, right? So you're going to have to be ordering almost around December 1st to receive a lot of product. There will be some carriers specifically where we will be buying a lot from is probably Walmart, Target, Kroger, any kind of local pickup spot, Ace Hardware, Menards, like wherever it is. Anything that will do good deals, clearance deals, in-store deals, markdowns with in-store pickup options, Kohl's, right? Macy's, JCPenney, wherever it is. That will be what we'll be targeting the most because who are in stock get all the money, right? So make sure you guys are hitting local delivery. You're hitting like if you have to Instacart or DoorDash items to your house, if you have to overnight pay express shipping, whatever it is, um, just be ready to get this stuff in stock because we're going to see, your typical Target toy is going to go from $25 to $50, right? That's what happens every December. Video games are going to go from selling 1,000 times a month to 40,000 times a month. So we just got to um, be ready with that. Have everything cross posted too. If you guys aren't familiar with Q4, cross post everything. Make sure your inventory levels are correct. But list Walmart, eBay, Etsy, whatnot, Mercari, wherever it is, Amazon, like every single retailer, because there will be sales that normally don't exist throughout the year. Like eBay is normally, snooze fest. During December, eBay will light up. Anything on eBay will sell also side by side with Amazon. Anything on Walmart is going to sell just like if it was on Amazon. Everything will be selling quickly in fourth quarter. The key is going to be shipping time, so be aware of that. Make sure your post office is ready. Make sure, if you got to go buy everybody Starbucks or whatever it is to make sure they're amped up to process your packages on time. Do what you got to do. Take care of your people. Thank your post office delivery person for, if they're doing a good job, get them whatever it is they need. Um, Other than that, just stay in stock, ride it out. Come end of December, we are buying all liquidations. Remember, December 26th is liquidation starting, right? We'll start looking for all kinds of liquidation closeouts and buy them up as quickly as possible. They will go quick. Always, always, always after December, the gift card market. If you guys are familiar, I don't know how many people are familiar with this, but on the gift card market will get hot right after Christmas. Gift cards they plummet in price because everyone will be liquidating gift cards. So if you are a gift card buyer, make sure you are ready to buy with lots of capital for the insane deals that are going to come, start of January. And of course, for those who aren't familiar, January is usually BA season. So as soon as January hits, it's going to be and that sort of thing. And then FBA all of your inventory in January, get it all sent out. That's the typical cycle that we're going to see. So anyway, that's it for me. I'm done talking. I'm gonna go back to work and maybe do some eBay listings and whatever. Hopefully, you guys have a good weekend. It's very slow on eBay today. Not buying a lot, so we're just chilling. I'm getting about 20 packages delivered today, so I'm going to be processing those for the rest of the day. Probably be in some calls on Discord. If anyone knows me on Discord, you guys can hit me up on Discord. I'll be in calls. I'll be here all weekend and Monday since it's a holiday. We'll be prepping and packing orders on Monday, getting them ready for Tuesday morning. And yeah, you guys have a good weekend. See ya.